Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between, a warm welcome. In this video, I will present you about the Swedish film industry, about the movie Dhurandhar in Sweden, and what Sweden's most popular actor, Stellan Skarsgård, says about Indian cinema. Sweden has a small film industry, but its global impact was massive in the 20th century. When people think of Swedish cinema, they often think of Ingmar Bergman, the master of existential filmmaking and affectionately dubbed as the father of gloom. His films explored faith, death, identity, and the meaning of life, shaping generations of filmmakers worldwide. Even earlier, Sweden led the silent film era of the 1920s with classics like The Phantom Carriage, influencing Hollywood itself. Swedish cinema has always pushed boundaries. Swedish filmmakers favor bold ideas over big budgets. In fact, Sweden even produced one of the most extreme films ever made, Logistics, an experimental project that runs over 35 days, challenging the very definition of what a movie can be. Now, contrast that with Dhurandhar, the 2025 Indian spy thriller. With a massive 214-minute runtime, it is one of the longest mainstream Bollywood action films in decades. Despite being banned in some countries for political sensitivities, including Pakistan, from Sweden's philosophical slow cinema to India's explosive spy epics, one thing is clear. Cinema thrives when it dares to go big, bold, and unforgettable. Dhurandhar is a word of Sanskrit origin, commonly used in Hindi and Urdu. Dhurandhar means a highly skilled, formidable, and battle-hardened person. Someone who is clever, fearless, ruthless, and extremely capable, especially in difficult and dangerous situations. Dhurandhar literally means one who bears great responsibility with strength and skill. This meaning aligns well with its use as a title for a spy action film, suggesting a protagonist who is dangerous, intelligent, and capable of handling high-stake missions. Dhurandhar, the movie, is showing in cinema theaters across Sweden this winter. It is drawing the attention of generic Indians with loose affiliation to their ethnic language and some nationalities from the Indian subcontinent. Because the movie is more regional in its landscape and less in universal appeal, it fails to gather traction among the natives. At Film Staden, the movie is screened, but there are no posters. And in the cinema hall, there is no whistling and shouting, except everybody comes, watches, and goes, as quietly as they have come. In Sweden, movie is just a form of entertainment, a story on screen. Watch it and egress. Stellan Skarsgård, recipient of the Nordic Honorary Dragon Award by Gothenburg Film Festival in 2020 and the most popular actor of his generation in Swedish cinema, to a question from an audience about the role of social media such as YouTube and Instagram, where there is always something to watch, he said those platforms are releasing creativity, but none can replace the cinema. When I interviewed him about the Indian cinema, he replied like this.
So what is the impact of Indian cinema at the global level? Because everyone, all the monopolies which you are talking about are all there in Bombay now.
Yeah. I've experienced that. I made one Indian film, and that was The Perfect Murder. many years ago with Nasiruddin Shah.
Yeah, well, he comes from theater.
Yeah, and which was a very interesting experience. It didn't turn out very well, but I also learned to know a lot of Indian actors, and I see them whenever, if I go home to someone in Morocco, there's a Hindi film on. All over the eastern part of the world, there's a Hindi film on. So it's and when I was working with, I was shooting a film with Ampuri in England. It's on The Fanatic, and walking through Bradford together with him was insane because of the huge Indian population, and there's no American star who is as loved as an Indian star is.
Cinema is a story told in moving images, music, and the sound of words. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between, I thank you for being here.